All right, welcome back. This is a holiday season here where I am located at the moment, and then also I thought to digest a couple of presentations we have done in the past, and then also look into the topic of social entrepreneurship. As we have seen, the fall of the communism from the Soviet Union era, fall of the Berlin Wall, the East and West Germany has fallen back, and then the whole democratic movement started in the west, in the east, and then and the west was pretty happy. That was pretty interesting observation when we look at the history of the capitalism and then and socialism debate and then also communism debate. Though China is testing something different, but still in general we are feeling that there is a call for something that can solve the nagging problem of the world that the world has been trying for example, poverty, climate change, inequality, social evils, you name it. In this perspective, today I'm going to use social entrepreneurship as a vehicle, as an operationalization of the construct in the capitalism or socialism in that sense, or in a sense, using capitalistic operationalization to solve the social challenges or environmental challenges the society is facing. In doing so, I'll be following what is the concept of social entrepreneurship, and then I'll look into emergence of social enterprises, how they emerged actually, and what was the trigger in the history why this movement actually started, and then also social entrepreneurship versus social practice, um, and social activism. That can be interesting to look into that because that's a topic I gave to this presentation. And then also social entrepreneurship and business entrepreneurship, or in general, what is traditional entrepreneurship and what is social entrepreneurship. What's the difference between them, right? So we'll compare and contrast those. So why it is needed, right? So this is very challenging to look into some of the facts that we have. In one of the presentations, my students actually brought this to my notice. Like they said, like 1.2 billion children of the world live in poverty. A staggering amount of number, right? Over 1 billion people do not have access to clean water, right? That's another biggest challenge that the humanity is facing. And also, one in seven children have no access to health services, right? Around 22,000 children die every day from largely preventable disease or illness in the developing world. These are some numbers, but like enough, we haven't looked into the climate change, we haven't looked into terrorist threats or other nuclear war threats, and so on and so forth. So there is poverty, there is unemployment, and then also there is climate change or global warming, or in that sense, ozone layer is actually depleting, and then we are facing a climatic catastrophe, right? And we can deny the nuclear-free zone either, and we need to make the world safer from nuclear wars, nuclear waste, and everything. And all of these problems, though we have tried from the traditional entrepreneurship, as multinationals took over the world and globalization took over the world, it has delivered to the best of the capitalistic philosophy. But still, these problems are actually have not been targeted pretty well from the MNC side. In that angle, social entrepreneurship combines the passion of social mission with an image of the business. So, a social entrepreneur is a person who develops or establishes an enterprise with an aim of solving social problems, right? So we are looking for these breeds of entrepreneurs who not only wants to make money but also wants to solve the problem of society. Okay, and in doing so, they can make money also. But on the other hand, they are actually driven by the social impact and then social return they are creating, right? So social enterprise focuses mainly on society and the benefits to the society, and it is only development motive and not for profit actually. That's of course they make money, but they do not only strive for profit. On the other hand, traditional enterprises they have a main focus on profit allocation. They focus mainly on shareholders, right? They make profit more. They have profit motive, and then they make only for profit. So, in this angle, the main objective is not to earn profit, but implement widespread improvement in the society. If you are driven by that logic, sooner or later you will make money also, because the psychology and the philosophy of the people to do good for the society, and then the brands that are expecting the societal change and environmental impact is minimum. People who will be a next generation, the X generation, will be in that kind of bandwagon. They will be actually following those kind of products and solutions, right? For example, microfinance institutions, educational programs, banking services in underserved areas have been working pretty high since Mohammad Yunus 2006 Nobel Prize for Grameen Bank. It has spread around the world in a very massive way. Lately, Mohammad Yunus has actually called for zero profit, zero carbon, zero unemployment, and also zero, how to call it, three things: zero poverty. Like, he has been calling on that, and of course, I would like to not forget the zero nuclear waste or nuclear disaster. In those domains, if we are actually targeting the whole society and all the enterprises are actually focusing on that goal, perhaps sooner or later we'll have startups and companies serving people, planet, and profit. We call it 3P, and some people have built this into 4P, and so on and so forth. 3P means you're serving the people, mean the society, and then also planet means the respecting the planet and all, and biosphere. And then also profit means, of course, you are an enterprise and then you want to build business and then survive yourself. Rather than a charity dollar, it has a continuous life and a long lasting life. And it also has a motive to plow back the profit and then also give back to the another venture and then support that venture to take off in the new geography, new location, new area. So it's not only making money, but also making a franchise, unconscious franchise, towards making a chain of actions through entrepreneurial activities to solve the biggest problem the society is facing. Right? So the point now boils into the idea, like where is the what is the role of the social entrepreneur then? The entrepreneurs actually have they will always have a mission. They're mission driven, while the traditional entrepreneurship is mostly profit driven, as we looked into that. So mission driven organizations will be evaluated. Outcome variable will not be only profit, but also mainly social value. How much social value you have created, how much utility you have created, right? So you are the ultimate creator of the social value, right? And these kind of entrepreneurs have adaptability, curiosity, decisiveness, diversifiable, inspiring, persistence, and pragmatism and resourcefulness as characteristics. Of course, other entrepreneurs also resemble these kind of things, but at least here they have altruism that is driving. That's good for the society, empathy, and looking from the other person's shoes, and so on and so forth. And then solving and having this kind of tenderness and then sympathy for the society, not only sympathy, but doing action that getting into the real um, kind of empathy phase. Okay. Sometimes most of the population have apathy to the social problems. Sometimes some people have sympathy, but that does not help unless and until you act. So action matters above all. And that this is gaining momentum because we have chances of like kind of it is giving some kind of meaning for the new generation, that they can create economic value, they can create social value, and then also they can influence government policies, and they can influence people's behavior, and they can save lives. It's pretty good for the new generation's motive to serve the society, right? And however, please remember, your country and your society must be ready for these kind of things. Innovation, new technologies, products and services must be available. R&D methods must be available. Business management for profit, management skill, market profitability, all kinds of issues must be there. And empowerment of the local people and community and government. It's an ecosystem. It's not like a traditional business. So yeah, here you are with the society, for the society, and to the society, just like democracy, to the people, by the people, for the people, right? So this kind of notion is there in social entrepreneurship also. It brings your autonomous feeling, and at the same time, it gives you tremendous responsibility to solve those problems. Okay? So, in saying that you are developing socio-economic development, also you are having social values, you have social equity, and you have social change and transformations and social efficiency. Right? These are the objectives you can put. So it's not easy to fulfill these objectives. Like in profit motive, it is easier than this one to solve that equation. You just justify all the resources used for the purpose of the profit, only one variable. But here you have social economic development, social values, social equity, social change and transformation, social efficiency, however you measure it. These things must be actually dealt in detail. And that's the reason like enough nowadays we call like enough this kind of enterprise is not only making money, they are reinvesting the profit. I told you before, also plowing back the profit. And income is product and services, fundraising grants, and then also you have operated by the board of committee management, and you create value outside the business driven by social impact. You have socially responsible business, so we know that. And then also can be a company limited by guarantee or incorporated organizations or cooperative. You can register in any form, cannot be sold for profit, and then also provides income generating skills. Okay, so this is a very good approach to market driven solution to the biggest problems the humanity is facing, right? If you look into the EMES approach, that's the approach taken by the social entrepreneurs. Like from the economic dimension, they have continuous activity of producing and selling goods and services. They have significant level of economic risk because whether they will gain profit or not, we don't know, and they have minimum amount of paid work, right? From social dimension, benefits the community, initiatives launched by a group of citizens is good, and then also decision making not based on capital ownership rather than driven by the community ownership. Right. Let's look into the differences between social versus business entrepreneurship. Like enough, what is social entrepreneurship, and then what is business entrepreneurship? Okay, one by one. So, if you look into the objective of social entrepreneurship, it is creating social change. And if you look into business entrepreneurship, it is talking about building a business and maximizing profits. If you look into the basis of wealth creation for social entrepreneurs, wealth means creating and maintaining social and environmental capital, right? They're only concerned on that. And in the other hand, business entrepreneurship is like wealth is same as profits, right? So if you look into measure of profitability, social entrepreneurs engage in for profit activities, all right? But benefiting shareholders and active investors is for the business entrepreneurship. Yes, in social entrepreneurship also you engage for profit activities, but you are solving the social causes. How you raise the funds? Individuals raise and donate money for charitable causes on the basis of viability of the project goes by the individual in charge in social entrepreneurship. And on the other hand, on business entrepreneurship, venture capital is VCs, angels, and then other forms of company management, leadership, and all of them support for that investment, right? Who are the investors in social entrepreneurship? Philanthropists are most of the investors, but nowadays impact investing venture arms like venture capitalists are also coming up, and they also have the solution for that kind of investment. In business entrepreneurship, it is venture capitalist. If you look into performance measurement, here in social entrepreneurship, we are measuring social change, but that is very difficult to measure. Okay, so of course in terms of business entrepreneurship, profitability is obvious. How it emerged then, and let's look into that. Social enterprises market crash happened in 2007 2009, and that triggered the importance of social entrepreneurship. Temp watch was another one of the low body temperature movement watch that has also transformed the meaning of business in the West. Grameen Bank, after winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 definitely triggered a new wave of entrepreneurship, right? And it has created social impact. Like an Brahmin Bank succeeded in reducing members' vulnerability and poverty, positively influenced their female members and brought improvement to their status, and then also provided microcredit to rural people as a means to fighting poverty. Okay. In, for example, country like Nepal, where I come from originally, right? So here we have companies like Bakery Cafe. It provides job to the people who has hearing disabilities, and when you go there, you don't want to go anywhere else because while having your meal, you are actually serving somebody who is differently abled, and then you are giving hope and life and employment for them. There are others also, this kind of organization like handicraft centers, craft producers, all of them also use this kind of approach. This is now coming to an end, and here I am actually calling for social entrepreneurs not only do the social entrepreneurship but build that into social activism and then also social practice at the end. Because without that, it is not going to survive. The planet will not survive in this shape. It will have tremendous damage, and then also uh, regeneration will take ages. So still we can have a possibility to reverse the climate change. Still we have possibilities to stop the inequality. Still we have possibilities to war stopping, and then everything that in our hand, right? So, like enough in the US, Black Lives Matter did not come from the entrepreneurial ventures, but supported by the entrepreneurs themselves. Many of the entrepreneurs backed the Black Lives Matter movement when that actually took to the street, right? And nowadays, that is also not taboo in the US to actually talk about racial discrimination and injustice and so on and so forth. The same is happening around the world in many societies, like for example in India, in Nepal, and other countries like Hinduism is practiced. Also, we have this kind of casteism. That's also we have to think like how to actually discuss this and then understand it, and then also make everybody kind of respectable in the society. In general, not only that, gender is also another issue, and then feminist groups are actually emerging into this angle, but still there is a societal call for solving these kind of challenges. There are so many social evils, not only social causes, that the society is engulfed. In many countries, women cannot go to school, girls cannot go to school, right? So these kind of countries also need some kind of awakening, right? So and so forth. So if we look into these kind of things, from social entrepreneurs to social activism to social practice, also this has a continuum, and that will evolve with time. For example, let's look into the some of these social activists like racial equality, gender equality, immigration reform, human rights, LGBTQ plus rights, and then also religious freedom like Black Lives Matter, as I told you before. Social practices are in your culture, in individual culture and values, habits, and change individuals through contact with specific cultures. Right? In social entrepreneurship, there are so many ventures nowadays doing simple things one at a time. And this has created a movement. So it is going to be an experiment. It still has, everything has been an experiment in the past, but how far it will take us and whether the most scalable mechanism of capitalism, the free enterprise, will be able to solve the biggest problem in a scalable level without being corrupt, without being inefficient, and also without telling us like, oh my God, this is impossible. Let's not have the word impossible in this dictionary, right? With this note, I would like to thank you for listening to me. In summary, triple P, right? People, planet, profit. This is the mantra. And Imam Ali Yunus called for three zeros, like zero poverty, zero unemployment, and also zero carbon. And we call for add fourth one like zero nuclear waste and nuclear war. With that note, we hope social entrepreneurs drive the change, make things happen, and then drive the society towards sustainable world for the future. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next time.